Hello to everyone. I'm Evgeny Simichuk and you are Build Your Life channel. Today I will speak with Mitja Hertiš. Hello, Mitja.
Hi, it's a pleasure.
Mitja is export manager of Seltron company from Slovenia. So today we will speak about this brand and this company. So at the beginning of our meeting, I will ask you to present your company. Tell us about some history, about range, about activity, and maybe some interesting point about Seltron company.
Yes. So thank you for inviting me. As I said, it's a pleasure. And yeah, of course, it's always good to network, to share information. So thank you for that. Okay, shortly, if I start with company Seltron. Basically, Seltron is a private-owned company. It's a small to medium-sized company from Slovenia. Actual root or the company was founded in 1991, right after the split of ex-Yugoslavia country. At that time, when the country of Slovenia became independent, and the same year the company was founded. But the actual roots of the company were a little bit sooner than that. But actually, that was more as a, how we call it now, as a garage company, nothing official. So officially, the company was founded in 1991. We are located in Maribor. That is 40 kilometers from, let's say, Austrian border. And we I
know Maribor because Maribor has a football team. Yeah.
Yeah. Two things. I would say Maribor is maybe known. One is this, and second one is the ski slope for the World Cup. Which unfortunately last, I think, 4 years. We didn't have enough snow, so it moved to Kranjska Gora. But this is quite a nice place for this because you have it directly from the city. You can see it.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and for us, let's say, as we are very export-oriented company, it is quite good geologically positioned city. Because we are on the crossroad from two major European highways, one going, I would say, from Ukraine to, I can say, France. So east-west. And the second one is going, I think, now from even the Turkey to Berlin, I can say. So the second one is north-south. And these highways are from Maribor, I think, 5 kilometers. So this is very good positioned for us. And yeah, as a company, as mentioned, we are very export-oriented. 85% of the products we produce are exported, mainly due on the market of on the European market. But here I'm talking more as a continent, not as a European Union. So this is for sure our main market. And yeah, about the products that we produce, we do. From the beginning, we have been very develop-oriented company. So we started at that time, at 1991, as a, how should I say, pioneer on this market with some first digital heating controller. And around 1995, our portfolio was more or less formulated as it is now, I would say, in the base pillars. So what are our main products? These are, I would say, 7 groups of the products. And the main are, let's say, differential controllers, which are mainly used for solar systems, biomass systems. The second group are weather compensated heating controllers, which are meant to control the whole heating system of the house, apartment, small commercial building. Then the third quite important group are actuators. So these are actuators for the rotation valve, mixing valve, ball valves. The fourth group is compact controllers. This here we are, I think, also very known and very strong. These are basically controllers integrated inside the actuator. So this is one also important group for us. And then zone controllers. This is lately the trend. So for floor heating or the ceiling heating, cooling systems. The room thermostats. And the last group is maybe we put it separately, but it is a part of all of mentioned group are now the cloud solutions. So apps and everything, what is a trend to be able to manage all of the mentioned product, of course, remotely. At the moment, we are around 85 people in Seltron. As mentioned, we are very development-oriented company. Our turnover is around 22 million euros, or it was last year.
My question about the start of the company, you mentioned that 1991, and you started, Seltron started produce very technological products, not some fitting, not some pipe, not some valves, started from technological products. It's at the beginning of the company, why top management choose this way of product?
Yeah, exactly. And I think at that time there were mainly two owners which were quite technical field people, and it started on the base of technical knowledge and some vision what could be interesting on the market. We had at that time some, how should I say, information what is mainly is coming on the West market, like at that time Germany, which was kind of much more developed than Slovenia or Yugoslavia at that time. So I would say a combination of two things. One is quite very good technical knowledge, especially in electronics. And second one is this information from the West markets, what could be interesting in the future. So this was, I would say, the main idea, or the main, at that time, point. It was quite a struggle because we had to, I would say, teach the market about the products. Almost nobody knew what this product is, what it is doing. And that was, let's say, even now, that was constantly education of the installers, of the people, what these things are, how they can benefit you, how they are working. So for creating, I would say, a new niche.
Yeah. For me, in my opinion, this decision was right because every year by year, heating market and every market in the world became more technological year by year. So this decision in 1991 was totally right.
Yeah, so, it seems so, yeah.
Yeah. The next question, you mentioned that your company from Slovenia and you produce made in Slovenia products. For Ukraine, I'm from Ukraine, and in Ukrainian market, it's not a popular brand like made in Germany, for example. Maybe the most famous brand in the Ukrainian market from Slovenia is Goreni. I want to ask you about next question. You export, Seltron export 85% of your products to other country. How people in different country perceive your made in Slovenia brand? How they feel about this brand?
Yeah. I totally, I would say, understand this. However, I would say lately this is maybe a little bit my personal opinion, but I think it is also felt all over the world. In the past, general markets were a little bit more divided. And at that time, this trademark, of course, let's say as a made in Germany, was much more valuable or higher positioned than maybe it is now. Of course, it is still important. This is for sure. But maybe lately, due to the, I don't know, whole internationalization information that are available, it is maybe not as significant. However, we are, let's say, in a quite narrow niche. We are offering products which are on one side technical, so you need some expertise to use it or to install it. So in this case, it is maybe easier because this market, this segment knows us maybe better than, let's say, average general public. So our main customers around the Europe or around the world are at the end quite specialized company. So this helps us, I would say, come over or to minimize this effect of made in. This is for sure. Because honestly, yeah, this I quite understand. Slovenia is a very small country, and I would say majority of average people wherever in the world never even hear about it. So
maybe
yeah, we have to compete, I would say, on other things like technical things, reliability, innovative things, so that we can somehow compensate maybe this factor of made in or made by factor. So
I think so, because in the last 10 years, maybe many of borders, especially in Europe, fall now in markets. So it's in the future, I think if you have good quality products, it does not matter made in Germany or made in Slovenia or maybe other country. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. My next question about competitors. What is the main competitors of Seltron? I mean, maybe it's Siemens or SB, or it depends of your category of product.
Yeah. Here I can broadly maybe divide into two categories where we are maybe a little bit different than most of the biggest competitors. So one side is the actuators and compact controllers. I would say this is maybe one side, one major group of products, and they're the main competitors. I would say are like SB, Belimo, Sauter, also company from Slovenia, First. So these are on this field main competitors, and then the second group are the controllers. And there are mainly other companies like Siemens, of course, but then Sorel, Resol. So yeah, these are, I would say, our main competitors on the market.
Why your customer choose Seltron in compare, for example, with SB or Siemens?
I would say mainly there are, of course, many different things, but where we try to differentiate or be better, or where we are better that we know from feedback from the customers is, let's say, many times some innovative solutions in the product. Not that we are, I would say, inventing something new, but many times we adapt, we make a product in the way that is more intuitive or more robust or more easy to use. So this kind of solution, then I would say many times flexibility. After all, we are also quite known as OEM manufacturing company, of course, and that brings also challenges with flexibility, where we are also, I would say, quite strong. And then I will tell you the third one is reliability of the products. These are, I would say, the main three pillars that I think make us better or differentiate us from our main competitors.
Yeah, I agree with you. When company has a strong service support, technical support, and some interesting point advantages in products, it's very good base for expand different markets. Of course.
I agree.
Yeah, and as I understand, your main competitors and is from European market, not, for example, some Chinese or some cheaper brands. Chinese companies are your competitors or not?
They are, of course, we spot them, but not significantly. Now, one thing is for sure that general systems that they use in China are maybe a little bit different than what we use in Europe. This is, I would say, for sure one segment or one factor that the Chinese companies or brands are not that strong. And second one, which is also, I think, important for as a general in Europe, many systems and solutions are still, I would say, copied from China. So they check where we are, what we are using, in what way we are using, and they try to make it the same way. Of course, this, I would say, this situation makes you always that you are following something. And in this way, of course, we are better because we have some solutions already as the new ones that they don't even know that maybe exist, maybe. And of course, I would say the last one is reliability. This is for sure what we saw, especially on the market of actuators, that our products are basically maintenance free, and this is of course very important for customers. And I think here it's one big differentiation factor, where it's of course factor of how company is doing, which components it is using, and also the knowledge from the history, what is working and maybe what is not.
So Chinese company to push your became more technological from year to year. It's will be your advantages. But next step about how do you feel? How do you think in maybe in future can a Chinese company to become the same like European producers in your niche or not?
I think they will become a part of the industry for sure. I think this is quite normal, but at the end, we will see them probably just one of the competitors on the European market. I think now in last period, this is happening a lot of heat pump market. If I see right what is happening on the market, and for sure, when there is a lot of demand for certain product, of course, new companies enter the market. So this is for sure, they will come or they will be on the market. But for us, it will just be one of the competitors to which we have to be better.
Yeah, okay. Interesting question. In your opinion, what is the best product from Seltron range? Maybe best seller or best in technological way?
I would say the best product lately is a compact weather composited controller. This is, I would say, due to two things. One is, of course, the technology part, because it is a controller integrated in the actuator, so you have very compact, easy to use device, which controls, I would say, one heating segment for you. And the second one is that as a product itself, it's quite easy to use. It's like a click system, so more or less plug and play. And the setup is basically a wizard which is guiding you to do this initial startup guided. So it is, I would say, technical solutions and the easiness or intuitive use of the product itself. And of course, the reliability. This is, for us, I would say, as a must factor. And for sure, this is the most, I would say, important or interesting product at the moment from Seltron.
So about your vision, I'm right, understand that in the future, the most popular products from your kind of market will be products from more easy useful and more easy installation.
Yes and no. The idea, of course, of the usage of the products is that, yeah, you don't need, I don't know, some manuals to read, so that it is plug and play. This is for sure one segment. On the other side, the demands of the functions are increasing for some products. Like, I don't know, you have much more sensors, or you have a requirement of this remote management. And of course, when you are adding all of these features, the product is getting kind of more complicated. But for sure, I think the future will go in the way that product will be as easy to use as possible, and made in the way that you cannot make mistakes. I would say one example from the fixing system of the actuator on the actual valve. We try to use, I don't know, Pokayoke system, so you cannot turn in the wrong way, or to make it as universal that you cannot make mistake. Maybe one example is like with this our AHD controller mentioned, weather compensated. Inside, because it has a display on which you can set something, inside it has integrated gyro sensor. So in any position you mount it, the display will turn automatically. Maybe one feature that describes the thing that I want to present as example.
Oh, and the last question for you about novelties. What is new products of Seltron will be present this year or maybe next year?
This year was kind of, the people from industry, of course, feel it. It was, again, quite special year. One is, after so many years, the biggest fair for this HVAC system was again happening in the ISH Frankfurt. So this is, of course, good opportunity for us to present new products. And the second thing is, I think now is this quite a big switch of energy trends, especially in the European market, from fossil fuels to, I don't know, renewable. And this is second factor that is affecting us quite a lot, also with the new products. So this year, our idea is to present 3 main new products. One will be a new range of actuators, which will be used for mainly for like zone valves. on-off valves, and the heat pumps. So as a switch over, this will be one important group for us due to the segment that is targeting. The second one is completely new weather compensated controller for general heating system. This we will renovate, offer a new model with additional features, which of course benefit the trend that is happening right now, like wireless room units, wireless outdoor sensor, more intuitive graphical display, and so on. So this will be second important product. And the third is the new range of room thermostats, which we added solution of Bluetooth connectivity. So why Bluetooth? This is, as mentioned a little bit through our conversation, to make a product more easy to use. And I think, or we all feel, that doing some things on the phone is much easier than on device, which doesn't enable you the same interface as maybe on the phone. So to make the product as easier to use as possible for the end customer, we integrated the solutions based on Bluetooth. So this is the third one, and this is the third important group that will be, or the target is to be presented by the end of the year.
Okay, thank you for your answers. Yeah, for me it was interesting meeting, interesting interview. Thank you for your answer, for your time, for all information that you gave to me. So I hope your business will grow. Seltron will become famous year by year. So nice to meet you, and thank you for this interview.
Thank you very much. Yeah.